So here's the sourdough yeast. I left it near the fire overnight, hoping it would keep warm, but it went a bit flat. Still, first thing this morning, actually about 3 hours ago now, I added a tiny bit of rye flour and quite a bit of wholemeal and some white, and that's got it bubbling up a treat there. I think we're going to be able to make bread with that a bit later. So time to start making the preparations quickly, get everything else ready, and we'll take a look. Here it is again. This is the business end of sourdough bread. It's the sourdough, it's kind of a batter, I suppose. You can make pancakes out of it and they're really nice. They taste a lot like a thing called pikelets that some people remember. Anyway, it's got lots of good holes and things in it now, showing the bubbles are forming. And the way it's behaving, I reckon it's just about ready to make a loaf of sourdough bread. It's cold here, it's winter, and the ambient temperature makes quite a difference, but it's still, it's like 6 above freezing even at night. That's 6 degrees centigrade above freezing at night, so it's fine. But anyway, there that is. So, right, let's get baking. And there really is nothing in that starter apart from flour and water. So here's the flour we're going to use anyway. It's mostly going to be white flour. There's some rye flour there which helps to develop the gluten, and some organic whole wheat flour, 100% whole wheat, which that's the way I like it, but a lot of people prefer to use white throughout. I'm going to measure it out in cups here, so starting with the white flour, which is most of it, there's going to be 1 cup of that all in. Just tap that down. About a cup in there. It's hard to see through that actually, but there's about a cup in there. So put that back, because it can get messy. And there's the Bakeldre stone ground 100% wholemeal flour, bought from Amazon actually, nice price on Amazon. It's not cheap, but it's wonderful. I'm going to put some of that in. It's going to be fairly wholemeal rich. There's going to be most of the second cup of flour is going to be that actually, but it does really get it bubbling and make it stand up. So keep tapping it down and just ducking down and having a look there. I'm not doing this in the kitchen because it's cold down there until I light the oven. This is the thing, I'm doing this in winter. That's kind of the point of the video really, to show that you can do it in, it's not desperately cold in UK here, but I know they do it in colder places than this, and the yeast will actually do it. So there we go, there's all the flour mixed together, and I think we're just about ready to get the steel bowl and actually have a go at it. Oh, no, we're not. Rye flour, I forgot that. Now this really does help develop the gluten. I'm not going to put much in at all, but it really, I've tried making it without any rye flour in, and the difference, you can see the difference in a big way, put it that way. Sea salt, so important, because that way you get the iodine. It's better for you, it really is. And some caraway seeds that add flavour. You don't need many caraway seeds, actually. It's a very powerful flavour indeed. I've probably put too many in there. And there is the starter, still bubbling nicely. You want to sort of use it just before it starts going flat really, because then I've poured it into the flour now, and I'll mix it up very gently with some water. It needs to be mixed gently because we don't want to destroy all those bubbles. We'll certainly destroy some of them and they'll form again, but we want to keep as many as we can. So that's just about the mix now. I'll get my scraper. I prefer to use a scraper than my hands for reasons which I think are obvious there. It is a very wet mix, but this is the no-knead thing, if you don't have to knead it much, that's a great thing really. I really prefer it that way, and you get a much better, it's hard to describe, it's just more of a liquid thing until it's ready, and even when I finish this phase of it, it's still going to be very liquid really. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I've used, Berkey? Yes, that's it, Berkey filtered water. It's important to get the chlorine out of it. because the chlorine slows down the yeast. You get a much better result. If you haven't got a filter, no problem, go and maybe get some filtered water or some supermarket water that comes from a spring, or they claim it comes from a spring. But Evian is a good one. I'm pretty sure that Evian, I'm not sure, but it's a French sounding name. That doesn't seem to have any chlorine in it. I do get very good results with that. Anyway, that's just about ready to rest, so let's put the cloth over it and come back to it in a bit. So that's going to stay up here for a while because it's nice and warm. And now, here it is. This is about 9 hours later. It's night, and I've got it by the fire there to keep it nice and warm. On a chair. Crazy not to use the kitchen, I know, but it's cold in there and it might very well go flat. It will rise in refrigeration temperatures, actually, but at this first stage, I like to give it a good chance. I'm using the strong white flour again. My pick for that really would be Dove's Farm Organic. That's just about the best one, but I've run out of that, and I do have this bag of Hovis, which is not my favourite, but it'll do the job. It's okay to lose your scraper. I have lost my pink scraper, but I do have this thing, which it's a frying pan flipper, but as long as it's never been used in a frying pan, or as long as it's very clean, it's great. And I'm just lifting it from the edges, lifting it away from the edges very slowly, because I'm trying to keep roughly the same shape as much as I can. Obviously it's going to get folded and twisted a lot, but the gluten is developing into long chains at the moment, and the more of those we can leave, the better, because then it'll spring much better when it comes time to bake it, which is going to be either tomorrow or the day after. I don't know, it's going very slowly, but there is no kneading involved, and although it seems to take a very long time, there isn't that much work. These are kind of 5 or 10 minute bursts of work. Shake it around a bit and it's just about ready to put to rest. A lot of people put cling film on, but I'm using a cloth. All we've really got to do here is keep the airborne bacteria out of it. And I'm going to put it in a warm place. Don't put it on top of your fire when it's roaring. My fire has just about gone out for the night here, and that'll just keep it ticking over till morning. You can do this in cold weather. This is what I'm trying to prove. It's just kind of, you've got to keep it in the warm rooms as much as you can. So there we are. I'm quite pleased with that. Here's the starter. I put a little bit more flour and water in with the dregs after I'd finished with it this morning, and it looks good there. It's come back to life already, got holes in it. So thanks very much. That's the end of part 1. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and